Number one story in America, another set of migrants, illegal immigrants, arrived by bus here in New York City. This happened this morning, a few minutes ago. It comes as California Governor Gavin Newsom is asking, get this, the Justice Department to consider kidnapping charges against Governor Ron DeSantis and Governor Abbott for relocating illegal immigrants to liberal cities. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is here. Ken, Governor, kidnapping by putting illegal immigrants on buses and sending them to cities? Are you worried?
No. Look, here we go again. Threats to potentially investigate people that we disagree with by the FBI, the Department of Justice. That seems to be the new way of handling political disagreement. But no, what we're doing is completely legal. Now, what the president is doing by letting people come here illegally, that is illegal. I don't see Gavin Newsom asking for an investigation of the president for violating federal law. But we have the right to send these people out if we want to, and we certainly do with their consent, which is what the governors are getting before they're bust.
Yeah, and Pam Bondi's we're trying to get her shot up, but maybe we'll get the Florida perspective too. The president said the President Biden, you said yesterday, we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe, orderly, and humane. Republican officials should not interfere with that process by waging these political stunts. Your reaction?
Look, the political stunts are being pulled by the Biden administration. They are refusing to protect our states. It is not just border states. Now, as we can see, people are moved around by the Biden administration every day secretly, all illegally, and I have never heard a complaint from a mayor. I've never heard a complaint from any Democratic politician decrying what damage is being done to our states, and even some of these migrants who are dying along the way. I've never heard a single complaint.
Let's bring in former Attorney General of Florida, Pam Bondi. Pam, kidnapping charges for Governor DeSantis. It looks like Gavin Newsom, with no legal degree, comes out and says that this is what should be done. Is Governor DeSantis worried?
No, I can't imagine any governor in our country is worried who is bussing out illegal immigrants, Brian. And if you think about it, Gavin Newsom, the crime rate is skyrocketing in California. He should be worried about the crime, the legitimate crime in California, not Florida and Texas and all the border states trying to protect our own citizens. And, I don't know how bad it would be to be shipped by private plane to Martha's Vineyard, one of the most exclusive places in the country that boast one of the lowest crime rates. So I'm not sure how Governor Newsom can say that that's cruel and inhumane and horrific to send people to Martha's Vineyard. And in Massachusetts, they claim to be a sanctuary city and help people. So I would think these people would be very happy to be there.
Emergency meeting today, Attorney General Paxton at the White House to explore litigation options. Another official says this should not be about political stunts. It should be about the whole of government finding a way to stop the 8,500 encounters at the border every day. If this administration wanted to solve it, what would you tell them about the situation at the border in all your years in Texas? How bad is it?
It's as bad as it's ever been, and they know how to resolve it. We had it resolved under the Trump administration. His policies, following the law, building the wall, enforcing Remain in Mexico, enforcing Title 42, stopping catch and release, all of these things work. You can look at the numbers. They speak for themselves. The numbers under the Biden administration have tripled, and they've done it on purpose. They're not trying to protect the border. They're trying to encourage the cartels to bring as many people here as possible.
Pam, for Governor DeSantis was outraged about a year ago when he found out that flights were landing in Jacksonville. He didn't know anything about it. Do you think he's going to continue? There's another story today that he's going to start sending people into Delaware.
Yeah, I think he should. People are sick and tired of this. Floridians want to be safe. We don't want these drugs coming across our borders. We don't know who these people are, if they could be human traffickers, if they could be pedophiles, Brian. We've seen in the past some of these illegal immigrants are pedophiles. They're criminals. So Florida has the funds to do it, and we're going to get them out of our state. I'm proud of our governor for doing this, and we're going to send them to people who claim to welcome them. It's like you can't say I'm having a party at my house and you're invited, and then when the guests get there, they say, oh, we don't want you anymore. No, they're welcoming them. They're going to have to deal with them, and not in our state, because we are a crime-free sanctuary state, just like Texas.
And you know what, guys? If in Martha's Vineyard, if they're having trouble keeping him anywhere, I think that President Obama probably still has that tent in his shed. He could lay that out, get a few cots, and those 60 people have a place to stay tonight on the compound.
In his huge compound. In his
It'd be
compound.
Great. All right. We all have a compound we can live. We could lend out if only that was the case. Pam and Mr. Attorney General, thanks so much.
Thank you.